Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Professor Hussein Fallal from Mansoura University, Egypt. Today we will discuss anterior capsulorhexis. What are the essentials for capsulorhexis? The essentials for capsulorhexis includes that number one, the surgeon should be fully relaxed and fully careful and attentive and operate slowly. Prepare your operating microscope by focusing on the anterior capsule and increasing the magnification slightly. The anterior chamber throughout the procedure should be kept to be deep and stable throughout the operation. Keep a deep, stable anterior chamber throughout the procedure. How can you achieve this? This can be achieved through viscoelastic substance or OVDs. Hyalon or cohesive viscoelastic is the best one, as it is retentive, it retains in the anterior chamber. Fill the anterior chamber to its maximum till it is overfilled, and refill it again if the viscoelastic escapes out of the anterior chamber. Injection of viscoelastic in the anterior chamber aims at relaxing the zonules, hence you can safely do your rhexis. Here the anterior chamber is shallow. You should notice that the zonules are stretched. Avoid as much as you can positive pressure, straining of the patient, and leaky wounds. All the time ensure that the anterior capsule is flat. This is a sign you know how to adjust yourself. Ensure the anterior capsule is flat all the time. Also avoid very deep chambers. This is the correct filling of the anterior chamber. How to fill the anterior chamber with viscoelastic? Inject viscoelastic first at 6 o'clock to form a ball of the viscoelastic, then introduce your cannula into this ball and inject gradually. The aqueous will egress out of the wound till the anterior chamber is full with the viscoelastic. What is the ideal case to start with? For the beginner, you should select the eyes with a good exposure, avoid sunken globes, tight eyelids, enophthalmos, narrow fissure. So select an eye with good exposure. The red reflex should be maximum, or enhance the red reflex before you start your rhexis. The pupil should be maximally dilated. The anterior chamber should be of a normal depth. The zonular capsular structures will be within normal. Avoid subluxated lenses and cases of pseudo exfoliation. Also, the adult patient is preferable than children, as their capsule is very elastic, and in very senile patients the capsule is fragile. Now we go to the rhexis size. The ideal rhexis size should be 5 mm. Why? To cover an area of the intraocular lens. This is important to aid in prevention of posterior capsular ossification. This is the capsule overriding the intraocular lens. What's meant by 5, 6, 7 mm? This is a rule which says that if the rhexis is 5 mm, you are in the safe zone. If the rhexis is 6 mm, you might find some of the zonular fibers, while if it is 7 mm, you are definitely in the zonular area. This is very dangerous. This is a very dangerous zone. Avoid this zone. This zone is risky. This zone is safe. Avoid smaller rhexis also and the large rixes. Avoid rixes can induce capsular phimosis, and the large rixes may escape from you because you introduce to the zonular area, because you enter you enter the zonular area. How can I judge the size of the capsulorhexis? Consider the corneal diameter is about 10 millimeters. You should be midway between the center of the cornea and the nimbus. The center of the cornea and the nimbus. So you can consider that half corneal diameter is sufficient, or you can use markers over the cornea, like this case. This is a corneal marker. This is an anterior chamber. The black circle is a marker put in the anterior chamber and removed after capsulorhexis. There are digital systems which can optimize your capsulorhexis size. What about its shape? The shape of the rhexis should be circular, curvilinear, and continuous, like this. Should be circular, curvilinear, and continuous. It should be centered around the center of the pupil or the lens equator. This rhexis should be centralized around the center of the lens, or the center of the pupil, or the center of the limbus. These are landmarks that can you uh, depend on in selecting your site of rhexis, on centration of the instruments. The cystotome or the bent needle should be used in easy cases. Is suitable for easy cases. 23 or 23 gauge needle is suitable for these cases. Bend the needle so that its tip should be 1 millimeter only. Avoid very long tip. Also keep the bent tip to be sharp. Avoid damage to this area while you are preparing it with the needle holder. The other instrument is the forceps, and this is suitable for all cases and especially indicated in difficult cases like intumescent cataract, congenital cataract, escaped rhexis, and so on. There are two types of capsulorhexis forceps. The first is with converging arm, and the second is coaxial forceps. This with converging arms, either blunt tipped, the utrata, or with pointed tip, the Kraft utrata forceps. Avoid McPherson in doing your rhexis. What about the biomechanics of capsulorhexis? Biomechanics of the capsulorhexis, or tearing of the capsule, can be achieved by two mechanisms, either stretching or shearing. Stretching, this is you apply traction on the capsular edge. It is rapid and with a tendency to escape. While shearing, you fold the capsule in itself, needs minimal forceps, slowly progressive, and with good control. To start your rhexis, what are the steps of capsulorhexis? Number one, starting the rhexis. Insert the tip with its side through the side insert the tip on its side while you are entering the wound to minimize wound leaking, and always float in the wound. Floating in the wound means that you will not depress the posterior lip of the wound to minimize viscoelastic escape and corneal distortion. Just place the capsule, avoid engaging cortex in the pathway of the needle, and avoid posterior compression or posterior pressure over the lens. Start always at the geometrical center of the lens. Why? To get a center or a well-centered capsulorhexis. Then creating the flap. The capsular flap will be created in a curvilinear manner like this, because if you go straight in a straight line, you will find the difficulty to create a flap here, and the rhexis may extend to the zonular area. make your rhexis the flap size, the flap radius is equal to half the diameter of the desired rhexis. This radius should be equal to the half of your rhexis, and create the flap and fold the flap on yourself to continue your circumferential tear and completing your rhexis. All the time ensure the anterior chamber is filled with viscoelastic. While start with the sub-incisional area because it is the most difficult area and its visualization is difficult is impaired by the wound. Grasp as near as to the leading edge as possible to get a good control of the rhexis. Regrasp frequently. Regrasp frequently to get a controlled rhexis to avoid escaping of the rhexis. Your ball is always centripetal towards the center of the lens. You should terminate your rhexis like this, from out in, Avoid this termination because this may extend to the periphery. Here is a case of capsulorhexis by the capsule. After creation of the flap, the capsular edge is grasped. When you catch the capsule here, don't leave it except when it passes to the other side, because if you missed it, if you leave it under the wound, you might lose it. Frequently regrasp the capsulorhexis. Here another example. After fashioning your bent needle, enter from the sideboard to create the flap. After creation of the flap, use the forceps. Take your time, don't be in hurry, because this is a very essential step. It is the gate for a successful cataract surgery and for an eventual operation. Now I will terminate this rhexis. And thank you very much.